Is it for real? Are Burna Boy and Davido beefing?
Yes, they are absolutely beefing. Absolutely.
So why do you think so?
100%. It's a story. Should we go into the reason why they are beefing or why I think they are beefing?
Why do you think they are beefing? Like, why do you, what started this whole thing? Like, why do you feel they are beefing?
Before we get to what started it, let's talk about how we got here. First things first, in March, right? That was the first time. Okay, let's not start from March. Let's start from November, when Burna Boy was named, or September last year, when Burna Boy was named the best African act, best international act at the BET Awards. Davido congratulated him. When Burna Boy got his Grammy nomination last year, in November last year, Davido congratulated him. We didn't have any problems. But then, the first time we knew that Burna Boy sort of had problems with certain people in the industry was after he got back on Twitter, after he lost the Grammy Awards to Angelique Kidjo. That's the best international, the best world album category to Angelique Kidjo at the Grammy Awards. The problem was, Burna Boy came on Twitter, it was during the storm of nobody paved the way for me, nobody did this for me, nobody did that for me. So he sort of fired certain shots at some of his peers in the industry and all of that, some of his peers in the industry and all of that. So, we didn't really know who he was talking about. Then in March, on March 22 or thereabouts, Burna Boy went on Twitter and he said certain things about his upcoming album. He announced the album and he announced that the album was dropping in July. Then in May, that was on May 4, 2020, Davido comes on Twitter and says, oh, Nicki Minaj and Tiwa Savage are going to be featured on this new album. Then on May 22, Davido comes out and says his album was going to drop in July, titled A Better Time. Now here was how we got the first glimpses of beef between two of these guys. After Davido tweeted that, Burna Boy, suddenly on Burna Boy's Instagram stories, he said something about July. Something like July will be hot for everybody.
It'll be very funny.
Will be very funny for everybody. And something. Davido went on Twitter, he fired some shots. Davido went on his Twitter and posted a picture of himself and Wizkid. That's the two greatest of all time. Then Burna Boy there was on Burna Boy's stories, your father, we know you cannot play football, but because your father owns the football team, we know that blah, 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 blah.
Everybody's laughing.
How did we get here? Everybody's laughing on Twitter. Why are these guys beefing? Then Davido goes ahead to give the boy that designed that picture that he used for himself and Wizkid as the greatest of all time, give the boy 1 million naira. Rough. How did we get here? At the time, nobody really knew what was going on. Then all of a sudden, on Burna Boy's album, not all of a sudden, because all knew this was coming. Before then, on his album, on Chopsticks, during Chopsticks and Lyric's Instagram live battle of it, Burna Boy and Lyric teased Way Too Big. The content was very suspicious. I'm way too big to be fucking with you. Who are you dissing? Why are you saying you are way too big? That song. You can sing about such a thing on a good day, but it sort of sounded very pungent. Then on his album, we heard the full song and we knew he was definitely talking to someone. But at the time, he didn't have a lot of weight. Then we got to No Feedbacks. Life is no easy, my brother. You define your own, yeah, I define my own. Sort of he was talking to someone again. But then on Real Life, he said, fuck a good time. That was a song. We know how beef goes. In beef builds up over time. When you talk about beef between Emma and Vector, before he paid last year, or before they sort of addressed each other directly last year, they've had songs over the years. They've had moments of subs at each other. Some of those subs were even directly at each other. For example, at the 2016 Eddies Awards, Vector called Emma a short man. And throughout the cyphers in 2019, before they finally got at each other on songs that they made for each other, they were subbing each other. Atel Cypher, NSA Cypher, they were firing shots at each other. That's how it goes. Drake, Pusha T and Lil Wayne, they have been firing shots at each other all year. When Lil Wayne and Jay-Z had a beef, Lil Wayne and Jay-Z were firing shots at subs at each other, and that's how it goes, that's how artists move. Then when Davido dropped Femme, That was his reply.
Well, there was one time someone the video scam.
Yeah, that was Aloma.
Yeah.
So after the back and forth in May, Aloma goes on his Instagram live and sort of threatened Burna Boy with his full chest. He calls Burna Boy's name and he mentioned things that he was going to do this, if this continues.
And the Aloma guy is still part of
Aloma is one of the people. Aloma signed Leo Frosh.
Yeah.
So Aloma is the CEO of Aloma Music Worldwide. Aloma Music Worldwide is under DMW. They are guys. Aloma is one of the people that Davido built homes for at the time. Not a very long time ago. Aloma is Davido's man. Let's just put it like that.
Yeah.
You might not know him as say Lati you associate Lati with Davido as a PA. Aloma is part of the DMW.
So definitely, Davido co-signed that in IG story.
Davido didn't co-sign it. Never came out to say anything.
I'm just saying, hey,
he never said anything against it. So obviously, yes,
okay.
Obviously.
And
so that's how it goes.
Okay.
You can't deny it. Then, on Fem in Yoruba means shut up. Fem, kokoro, meleme, shut up.
Okay.
That's the meaning of Fem. Comes out and says, if you want to know 30 BG, you go know 30 BG. But what really gave him away was that line where he said, the Nodogu say we like to party. And then the call me part was basically a reference to, if anybody remembers, Bankole was in Uganda about a year ago, about 2 years ago, with Kanye West, where they were dancing to Immediately by Maestro at the time. And after that, Bankole says, Burna Boy, call me. So that was basically, that's cool. That is basically a reference to that moment. That's why Davido keeps saying, just call me. Make una tell him to call me. That's what it was.
So what if you're just reaching with all these, insinuations, just putting together?
Yes.
Is there any possibility that you're just reaching?
No, I'm not reaching.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I am not. What got to us a little while back that of true research, journalistic research, we found out that 2 instances are the reasons why these 2 guys are beefing. And we wrote about that in an article about 5 days ago.
Yeah.
We discussed why these guys were started beefing in the first place. Yeah. One of the reasons is Peruzzi. What I was told is that, and Burna has also confirmed it. Burna confirmed it during that question and answer session he had with his fans in May, where he said he has only had, during the problem that he had with Cesar Millie. When Cesar Millie said he wrote on the low for Burna Boy, Burna Boy comes out and says he's never had writing credits, he's never had assistance on any song except one song. And before then, we had heard that Peruzzi wrote Pull Up for Burna Boy. So, but Peruzzi, if you go to Wikipedia page, Peruzzi was not credited for that song. Anywhere else, Peruzzi was not credited for that song. Burna Boy only mentioned that Peruzzi had help writing one song. So the idea is, if Peruzzi had credit for that song, I think Burna Boy had won a Grammy for that song, for African Giants, Peruzzi wouldn't have been credited with a Grammy or a certificate for that matter. So that's enough reason to be angry. Then there's another movie drama entirely that I can't mention right now. Davido is said to have credits for a movie soundtrack, and they had problems with each other because someone got it and the other person didn't get it.
Okay.
So that problem is also there.
It's also there.
Yes.
Now that they're addressing each other on the song, Burna Boy has not said anything after Fame, has he?
No, he has not. He has not said anything.
So what's the next move after this? What do you think will happen next? Is Davido going back to back like Drake? What's happening?
First is first, right? Davido is trying to, what this is telling me is that Davido is trying to make a move like Drake. So for example, about 2 or 3 years ago, Charlamagne the God, no, before then, in 2016, Ja Rule was on Vlad TV with DJ Vlad, and Vlad asked him what his top 5 diss tracks of all time were. And he said, he mentioned Back to Back by Drake in one of those songs. And Vlad was like, why are you going to mention Back to Back? Ja Rule said one thing, he said, if your diss track is in the clubs and it gets a Grammy nomination, then you've lost. People are dancing to it. So your diss track is not just for you now, People are banging it in the club. They are dancing to it. They are enjoying it in the club. That means, my G, I'm showing you that I have way too much power than you. And right now, it has even escalated beyond that level. If you click some Burna Boy links on YouTube, you are going to see a Davido song first. That's technical beat. And you will remember that on the day that Burna Boy dropped his album Twice as Tall, Davido was trending. It was trending at number 1 on Twitter. That's Twitter NG. 2 days ago, when Burna Boy was replying people on his Twitter page, Way Too Big was trending. That's not a coincidence, is it? It could be, but it doesn't look like it. If you know what is going on, you will know that that is not coincidental. So, what Davido is doing is, he wants to make a diss track be in the club. And it shows you that Davido is not a random guy. Davido might not be as talented as certain people, but he's a music head. Davido was a producer. Davido almost produced on Mode 9's Da Vinci Mode in 2010. So it shows you that this guy is a music person. He understands what it is. So if he's doing this, it's intentional.
Yeah.
He wants it to go in the clubs and he wants it to blow up and become something. Already, the song has 5 million views in less than a week on YouTube, the video to the song. So it shows you that he knows what he's doing. That's what he wants to do. But right now, what I want to say is, the question should they be beefing?
Yeah.
That's a big question. The answer is no. But at the same time, you also have to understand certain things. Celebrities are human beings. They are regular people like you and I. They can have differences with each other. It's not different from the beef I might have with another random guy.
Yeah.
And because they're celebrities doesn't mean they can't have beef with anybody. They're just airing it out. It's just the way celebrities are going to beef is going to be different from the way random people are going to beef. They're going to address each other on the song. It's like, that's why we're always going to say the urban culture has been the most influential piece of culture and pop culture in the last 15 years. Because the way people move, the way people dress these days is heavily influenced by urban culture, especially hip-hop culture. So when you look at Davido, for example, I mean, you look at this beef, for example, the way artists are going to move to each other. In the past, in pop music, artists had problems with each other. But these days, even pop stars are taking shots at each other and random songs. It shows you that the way celebrities beef is going to be different from the way random people beef. If Hov is beefing with you, Hov is just going to fire one line at you on a song, and it's going to be done. That's how celebrities move. But the major problem with this is very simple. It is that these are two of the biggest black superstars on earth. It's not even about Nigeria anymore. It's not even about Africa. It's about blackness. These guys are black men. And they are two of the most powerful and the most popular black men on earth. People know who they are. For example, Davido was on Beat FM recently, and he was talking about how he got Nicki Minaj on his song. He made a statement that a lot of people might not have noticed. They said, I know she knew who I was. Like Nicki Minaj knew who I was. He wasn't bragging about it, it's just a fact. Nicki Minaj knows me, it's fine. For Nicki Minaj to know who you are not a small person. Cardi B was dancing to a remix and released a remix to your song on an airplane while she was coming to Nigeria. Burna Boy is the face of Afrobeats right now. His album debuted at number 54 on the Billboard 200. That's the highest chart position ever on that chart for a Nigerian artist. So what this means is these guys have too much power to be beefing. It's too much power and too much influence. And they command a lot of loyalty from a lot of people. This has the potential to divide certain enclaves. Not just in music, not just in entertainment, but in real life. It is not necessarily something that they should be doing. But at the same time, if they beef and keep it on the music, that's fine, fantastic. Like that was what Charlamagne and Ibro were saying when Drake and Pusha T were beefing. If you want to beef, keep it on the music. For example, when Jay Prince came on The Breakfast Club in 2018 and was discussing the beef. So for those who don't know who Jay Prince is, Jay Prince's son discovered Drake, right? And Jay Prince's son had his hands in the Drake pot. So when Jay Prince came to The Breakfast Club, he was talking about how you need to keep the beef on the music. Because if you don't keep it on the music, things could escalate. And it's not going to favor anybody. And if it's not about making money, leave it alone. There is a reason why Pusha T was beefing with Drake, and Pusha T went on a radio tour because of that. You had been on a radio tour before he dropped, around the time he had dropped his album, Daytona. But when that beef was bubbling, he went back on a radio tour. He even appeared on Joe Budden podcast at the time. It's all about, if it's not about making money, then it doesn't make any sense. That was why J Prince made reference to the pigs and the wolves on the house during that episode. He was talking about how you don't want certain things to escalate beyond regular music beef. And this has the potential to, and it won't favor anybody. We need this thing to be handled in a certain way. And if it doesn't, it has potential to end badly. Let's just say that. And that's facts.